and buried.
Over a 4-year period, he brutally murdered and mutilated 30 women. His motives remained a mystery until hours before his execution, when he claimed a fatal addiction had fueled his horrific crimes.
January of 1974, Bundy began killing approximately 1 girl a month. In fact, later on, the police would produce what they called the Girl of the Month Club, as they traced the girls who disappeared and then were later found dead.
When police finally arrested Bundy, America was shocked. He appeared to have it all. He was good-looking, articulate, a law student and a budding Republican. But he also had a fatal addiction to pornography. In his 10 years on death row, Bundy had gained a reputation for being a cunning and manipulative interviewee. Dobson was to avoid the shame and stigma of illegitimacy. Bundy's mother passed him off as a baby brother. Later, she moved to Tacoma, Washington, where she met and married Ted's stepfather. The young Bundy also appeared to be acutely conscious of his family's lack of money. On January the 4th, 1974, Bundy crossed the line. 18-year-old Joni Lenz was attacked in her bed. She was found barely breathing, covered in blood, and with a metal bed frame rammed into her vagina. Incredibly, she survived. Others would not be so lucky. By July 1974, the whereabouts of 6 missing girls around the Northwest remained a mystery. Bundy had become a calculating killer. Bundy's seemingly normal life continued. Whilst abducting and murdering young women, he was able to hold down an apparently normal relationship with Liz, a young divorcee. She later testified, though, to an increasingly strange and violent sex life. Bundy started to enjoy the power he had over his victims. In the detective magazines, it seemed Bundy had found the perfect inspiration for his crimes. Bundy's killings continued across the Midwest until his luck ran out, and he was arrested over a failed abduction in Utah. Police raided his apartment, but what they found there and at later locations wasn't exactly hardcore. Bundy's calm appearance and apparently rational analysis belied a state of mind capable of carrying out a final, terrible killing spree. He was on the run and a changed personality. Taking a room at a boarding house just minutes away from a university campus, Bundy was surrounded by young women.
The killer struck first at the Chi Omega sorority house. He clubbed and then strangled to death 20-year-old Lisa Levy and 21-year-old Margaret Bowman. At least one of them was raped.
The killer that had left a trail of bodies across America had come out of the shadows, but he wasn't going down without a fight. Bundy's trials were among the first to be televised, and his notoriety turned them into a media circus. The ego, narcissism, and outright arrogance of the serial killer were on open display and created a figure of grotesque fascination. Bundy became a cult figure. Women flocked to his trial. Bundy appeared every inch the lawyer, cross-examining witnesses, analysing blood samples, even questioning forensic evidence of bite marks taken from a victim's bottom. He had separated his murders from his everyday life. In court, Bundy separated the serial killer from the lawyer, though the jurors felt differently. Bundy appeared to relish the role of lawyer, at one stage launching into such an excruciatingly detailed cross-examination that he appeared to be reliving the crime. One after another, his trials were descending into chaos. In a final act of farce, Bundy used a legal quirk of Florida law, the fact that his girlfriend was under oath, to conduct a brief but legal marriage ceremony. Wedding or no wedding, the jury was in no doubt.
Therefore, it is the sentence of this court as to count one of the indictment that you, Theodore Robert Bundy, be adjudicated guilty of murder in the first degree, and that you be sentenced to death for the murder of Kimberly Diane Leach.
In the 10 years that Bundy spent on death row, books and films vied to explain what had motivated the seductive serial killer. Guilty and awaiting execution, the true scale of Bundy's atrocities became apparent. Bundy was suspected of having killed 30 women, but by the time police and FBI finished questioning him, that figure was closer to 100. Even in his final moments, he confessed to yet more killings.
He's gone! He's gone! He's gone! Yeah! He's gone!
Bundy the monster was gone. Florida had waited 10 years for its revenge.